indices and logarithm. Talking about indices and logarithm. Sometimes we can also relate logarithm together with what? Indices. They say, example, you have to solve for x in this question now. You can see, they say log x squared minus 2x plus 5 in base 2 equals to 2. This question mostly comes out in JAM and WAEC. They say you have to solve for x in this question. So to solve for x in this question, you'll be applying the log of indices to solve this question. So the first thing there is that you take log on both sides. That is, you have log on the right hand side but no log on the left hand side. So you have log on the left hand side, then no log on the right hand side. So you take log on both sides. And I believe you guys know that under laws of logarithm, when we say log 100 base 100, it implies what? 1. Or when we say, example, when we say log a base a equals to 1, log x base x equals to what? 1. And also when we say log 10 base 10 equals to what? 1. So from this point now, I can take log on both sides by saying that our 2 here can also be 2 equals to log, this is in base 2, so you can say log 2 base 2 raised to power 2. Whereby I can say 2 is equals to, if this 2 comes to the side, to be 2 times log 2 base 2. And log 2 base 2 implies 1, so it means it is 2 times 1, which will give us also 2. So I can say my 2 is equals to what? Log 2 base 2 raised to power 2. If I'm having log 10, yes, I'm having log 10 here. If I'm having log 10 here, it will be, in this side, it will be log 10 base 10 raised to power 2. Then if I bring this 2 to this side, it will become 2 times log 10 base 10. So I can say 2 times 1, which will give me what? 2. So since we are working on base 2, not base 10, so I can say, log x squared minus 2x plus 5 base 2 equals to log 2 base 2 or raised to power 2. So now we have log on both sides now, so I can say this log 2 cancel log 2. So it remains x squared minus 2x plus 5 equals to 4. I got this 4 from 2 raised to power 2. It implies 4. Now, the next thing is to solve. I can say this is what a quadratic equation. So the next thing for me now is to make it in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. This is a quadratic expression or equation rather. So I'll be making x squared minus 2x plus 5 equals 4 as x squared minus 2x plus 5 minus is plus 4 is coming inside to be minus 4, then equals to 0. So at this point I can say x squared minus 2x, if we take away 4 from 5 to mean that is 1, equals to 0. So this is now a quadratic equation. So I'll be getting two answers. My x will be 2 answers. So I can say multiply this first term by the third term. All we give us as x squared, or we say 1x squared. So now go and look for the factor of 1. If you multiply it to give us 1, and when you sum it to give us minus 2. So I'll be saying that's 1 times 1. 1 times 1 will give us 1. But when I say 1 plus 1 to give us 2, and this is minus 2, I can say I'm using minus 1 plus minus 1. So I'll be using minus 1 and minus 1 to get the what? Minus 2. That is minus 1 will give us minus 2. And also if I say minus 1 times minus 1 to give us what? 1. So I'll be using minus 1 and minus 1. And I believe you guys know that in quadratic equation, after when you get this, I'll be using minus 1. So the second term at the middle, this middle term, will be removed. So I will sub it for minus 1. So the minus 1 means I'll be using minus x. So minus x will give us what? Minus 2x. If I multiply it to give me what? X squared. So therefore, I will be saying x squared minus x, then the plus 1 equals to 0. So I'll factorize the two sides. So what's common here? I can say x is common into bracket what? If I divide x squared by x, it will remain what? X. Then if x squared divide x, it will give us what? 1. Then what's common here? 1 is common. I can say minus 1 into bracket x plus. If I say plus, then if I put plus here, if minus 1 times plus 1, it can't give me plus 1. So it means it will be what? Minus sign. So minus 1 times minus 1 gives us what? Plus 1. Then equals to 0. So at this point, since I've factorized, then I'll say this and this. That is x minus 1 Then I'll pick what? X minus 1 equals to 0. So at this point, I can share the 0 and say x minus 1 equals to 0. X minus 1 equals to 0. So x equals to 1. X equals to 1. So x can be 1 and 1. I get two answers.